march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Sold out for weeks due to the difficult and extensive proprietary process behind its creation. The exclusive InfoWars Life Secret 12 formulation is now back in stock. This ultra-clean vitamin B12 nutraceutical has been carefully crafted and developed over the last 2 years and is based on cellular science of how your body actively absorbs essential nutrients. Most forms of vitamin B12 are highly processed and synthetic and could not be properly absorbed by the body. Secret 12 is a binary of nutramedical grade, bioavailable coenzyme forms of B12, methylcobalamin, the same kind used in B12 injections, and adenosylcobalamin, the most bioactive form that has been created with our proprietary process. Secret 12 is taken by mouth, right on the tongue, and then swallowed. No needles, no injections. Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself. Discover the secret. Secret 12. Supplies of Secret 12 are very limited. Secure yours today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. For all of recorded history, civilizations around the world praised the health benefits of silver. At InfoWars Life, our mission is to bring you the highest quality, purest, cleanest, effective colloidal silver on the market today for the lowest price available. You don't have to be a doctor to know. The fall and winter months are the most dangerous time of year in North America when it comes to you and your family's health. InfoWarsLife.com is very excited to announce our biggest run yet of Silver Bullet colloidal silver, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. Now, InfoWarsLife.com has taken colloidal silver to the next level using a cutting-edge technique that is free of toxic artificial additives. Now more than ever, it's important to stock up on high-quality Silver Bullet from InfoWarsLife.com. No survival chest is complete without Silver Bullet. Secure your Silver Bullet today at InfoWarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. Silver Bullet. When cells become toxic, they die early and aging sets in. No one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. Just one of the key compounds, BioPQQ, is backed by major clinical studies. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? We now have the synergistic solution. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with super male or super female vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, your host. In this last half hour, we're going to take your calls, and we're going to continue with this story. There's some more aspects of this idling bill that's in New York City that's going to come up. I guess we could say idling cars are the devil's handwork. That certainly is the opinion. And let's go back to this picture of this little socialist nerd, Councilwoman Helen Rosenthal. I hate to pick on people's appearance, but I'm sorry. She looks exactly like somebody who's been raised all of her life by the nanny state and now has become that spokesperson. I mean, this is like some character, like I said before, out of Saturday Night Live. We're going to talk about that. Before we go to that, of course, we have also pointed out earlier in the show that Newsweek is now talking about yet another aspect of the problems with fluoridation. It's not the first time this has been discovered. It is a new study, and the new study is very important, very strong in terms of its data. The only thing that the people who support fluoridation can talk about is the fact that, well, this is just one study. And I'm sure they will fund a study that will find something else. You know, when they found the massive tumors on the rats in France after they fed them GMO for a couple of months, the industry funded its own study and fed the rats the GMO and didn't see the tumors. because they stopped the study after a few weeks. It was much, much shorter than I don't remember whether it was months versus weeks or whether, but it was a much, much shorter, truncated study, so they didn't see the tumors grow. That's what they'll do. They'll create a study to come back and try to push against this fluoridation, because we've been seeing these types of things popping up almost weekly. One from the UK a couple of weeks ago talking about the damage to the thyroid. This one talking about, again, another mental effect, not a drop in IQ, but creating ADHD in people. That's why we sell things at the InfoWars store like water filters. We're not selling you some snake oil water filter and trying to create a need for it by talking about fluoridation. We understand and have understood for a long time, as many of you have, fluoridation hurts your brain, it hurts your thyroid, it has measurable deleterious effects. There's no reason we should be mass medicating the public with anything where you can't control the dosage by dumping it into the water supply. So get that out. We understand that's a problem. We want to help you help yourself, because you can't get the city council to stop charging you to dump toxins into the water supply. Get a filter and take it out yourself. Protect yourself, protect your family. So we came up with some great water filters to sell. That's a win-win situation. Lets you take control of your life, and it helps us be independent of the kind of pharmaceutical companies that run the mainstream media. That's why we have these things up there. Now, also at InfoWarsLife.com, we've got a 30% off unprecedented discount on DNA Force. Our competitors are already 2 to 3 times the price. Some are charging up to $600 for similar formulas. Right now, you can get DNA Force 30% off. That's under $100 for the first time ever. And that's at InfoWarsLife.com. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about this story before we go to your calls. We've already got some people that have called in. This New York City bill here that is going to turn people into snitches for profit by taking video of people who have their cars stopped and are idling, and therefore they're using too much fuel. That's the rationale behind it. But of course, they want to earn money. That's what the police are there for. They also want to shut down your cars. To them, nothing is more dangerous than a running car. So they have to be stopped by all means. Now, this is not something that is new, actually. Going back for a number of years, car companies have been starting to put these auto start-stop systems on their cars. I'm not ever going to buy one of these things, but they expect to see these on 60% of new vehicles by 2020, according to one article here. And this is from the Daily Tech, and they point out that these start-stop systems, basically, when you stop your car at a stoplight, it'll turn off your engine, and then when you get ready to go again, it'll turn the engine back on. That sounds like a losing idea from the very beginning for me, because I understand, as you should as well, that most of the wear and tear starts on your car as you're starting up the engine. It's also a massive drain on the battery and other issues. But of course, you can get that for a $300 option, and you can be a good little green person. 65% of the people in Europe now have these idiotic systems on their cars. 7% in the U.S. They expect that to increase to 60% in the U.S. by 2020. Now, going back to 2011, the Truth About Cars pointed out in a very detailed analysis, and I'm not going to go into here, the shocking truth about start-stop systems. And they point out that the current generation, in terms of the fuel economy, they find out it's not really there. And it gets even worse. The current generation, they said, in 2011, of start-stop systems lose half of their benefits after just 2 weeks, which means that they're great for juicing up the scores on Europe's urban efficiency test, but they're as good as useless for the vast majority of life as we live it in our vehicles. Now, what is behind all this, of course, is raising money. That's what our local governments, especially New York City, does all the time. And here's a bombshell piece of legislation that's coming. This is reported by the Free Thought Project. This has been introduced by a U.S. congressman from Missouri, Emanuel Cleaver. On Monday, he introduced something he calls the Fair Justice Act. And he says the Fair Justice Act would make it a criminal rights violation to enforce criminal or traffic laws for the purpose of raising revenue. Wow, that would pretty much put them out of business, wouldn't it? He says petty drug offenses, idiotic traffic laws, this is the Free Thought Project talking about this, and other such victimless crimes could be brought to a halt with the passage of this bill. But we've already seen those kinds of things brought to a halt in New York City in protest of de Blasio, the mayor, not backing up the police when they were harassing Eric Garner and eventually killed him over a petty tax over tobacco. That's how that all started. They said, well, you're not going to enforce us when we're out there strong-arming people to collect revenue for you. We're just going to stop making, as they put it, this is the police union talking, unnecessary arrests, unnecessary tickets. Yeah, let's stop them from doing things that aren't necessary. Let's stop them from killing people over a tobacco tax. And of course, the Free Thought Project goes on to say, since there's no money in solving murders or preventing rapes, police departments in America have focused their duties on traffic citations and the drug war. If you go back to New York City, as they protested City Hall's not standing behind them, de Blasio criticizing them for going over the top and killing Eric Garner over this tobacco tax, they got angry. So they stopped doing that. They dropped the number of tickets that they were writing by 95%, costing the city, I think it was like $10 million a week. And they went through New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, they didn't arrest anybody for drunkenness in Times Square. They just left people alone and focused only on violent crimes. And they kept that up for a while. Now, it's interesting to go back a few years. There was a famous whistleblower within the police in New York City, the new NYPD, Adrian Schoolcraft, who over a period of years, this guy was a legitimate cop. He really wanted to protect people. He wanted to interact with the people on the beat. And he refused to write these annoyance tickets to collect revenue. And so as punishment, they put him on the beat. And he was very happy about that because he got to know the people in the community and he wasn't harassing them. But they were not happy with him. And when they found out that he had been recording their meetings where they were putting pressure on the police to write these tickets, they came to his apartment, and the number 2 guy in the New York Police Department threatened him to said, turn over these things or we're going to commit you for your own safety. They actually kidnapped him, put him into an insane asylum where his dad couldn't find him. His dad was a cop as well. His dad couldn't find him for about a week and then did find him. They lied to everybody and they said, we don't have any ticket quotas. And then they proved that they did have ticket quotas when they shut everything down this last winter. But they would take a whistleblowing cop, an honest cop who wants to protect the public, and they would put him in an insane asylum. That's the insanity of this. Let's go to your calls right now. Let's go to the first caller there that you got flashing right there. Sorry, what's his name? Yeah, JJ in Indiana. Go ahead.
Oh, hi, David. I was just wondering if you think they actually enforce this ammo ban. What do you think we're facing after that?
What do I think will come if they're successful in doing the ammo ban?
Yeah, like what do you think is going to come out of that?
Well, what they talked about was they want to create a framework. And in the letter that the 52 senators sent to the ATF, because it's not just 80,000 people angry at comments, but it was also 52 senators, they said that they did not want to, they said that the ATF had essentially created a pseudo-objective standard. They said, you pretend to have an objective standard, but you don't really have an objective standard. And what they want to do is they want to say, well, we can say that the objective standard is if it kills a cop, we can ban it. The senators said, you're creating a framework to go after all ammunition because all ammunition could arguably be that. And unfortunately, the way that they wrote that, the senators said, you know, these are used for sporting purposes. And we have to understand that we're not going to be able to defend the Second Amendment by saying we need it for sporting purposes. That is a path to disaster. That was a path that the NRA took for many decades. Under Wayne LaPierre, they have taken a more constitutional approach, but we cannot take the approach that they're going to let us have the guns if we use them only for target practice and for hunting. That's not what the Second Amendment is about. That's a legitimate use of firearms, but that's not the main point of the citizens' right to keep and bear arms. So they're going to come back. And I don't know how they're going to tweak this framework, but that's what they're talking about. They're going to basically try to create some kind of a structure that will let them incrementally ban ammunition. Thanks. Let's go to Sherry in Texas. Sherry?
Thank you. Thank you, David. I wanted to say something about Hillary. I've been really concerned about this for a long time, and here's what I think she's facing. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I've had my audio cut in the past. I never know. Okay, so here's the deal. The military-industrial complex, I think, wants to blame her for Benghazi and not the CIA or secret agents that were working for profit under the radar so that no other